Okay.
So a very
So a
important
very important
chapter
chapter that we need to prepare for the boards, where we have this equation to be the most important one. And as said that this can come for a 2-mark question, where we should not miss out
a
a single mark
this.
on this.
So
Okay? So I'm sure by now all of us have written the we have all of us have written the equation for photosynthesis in your notebooks. I will be rewriting it, but before that, I want to know the definition. If I can just hear the definition from you. Anyone? Renessa, bolo definition. Definition of photosynthesis.
What is it?
What is it?
And photosynthesis is the synthesis of food that is formed by carbon dioxide, oxygen, sunlight in the leaves of the plants.
Okay, a little modification. You are correct, but then I think I need a little modification on this. Anyone else to help modify the definition? Kyo bolbe? Anisha bol. Definition of photosynthesis. We have to keep in mind the raw materials, the conditions, and the products formed. Bolo?
It is a process by which plants produce food from CO from carbon dioxide and water
And
by using light energy.
sunlight and chlorophyll, and food that is produced, that is in the form of glucose, that is finally formed as starch. Okay? And another very important thing that I made you mark last day, it's green plants. Green plants. Okay, শুধু plants হলে হবে না কিন্তু green plants should be there. ঠিক আছে? So this should be there. So the definition in the box that we have, photosynthesis is the process by which green plants, living green plants, plant cells containing chlorophyll produce food substances, within bracket glucose. You may emit starch. Glucose is okay, from carbon dioxide and water, and by using light energy. Oxygen is released as a byproduct. That is also an important point. Oxygen is released as a byproduct in this process. Okay. So this gives the complete definition of the term, and then we follow with the next part, that is what is the significance of photosynthesis. Significance of photosynthesis means significance in a sense, what is the advantage. So we will be talking about two important fact that we need to mention over here. That is, first is food for all, and the next one is oxygen to breathe in. Very, very, very important. As already said in the class, that you might have questions like, a tiger owes its existence to chlorophyll. Give reason. A tiger owes its existence to chlorophyll. Tar mane ki? Can anybody explain on this? A tiger owes its existence to chlorophyll. What is that? Can anybody just try? Yes, Samadrita, very good. Try.
Ma'am, a tiger owes its existence to photosynthesis because the photosynthesis helps the plants to prepare their own food, which helps them remain alive. And these plants are the primary producers of the ecosystem. They are eaten by deer and other herbivores, which is the natural prey of the tiger. So tiger is kept alive by the herbivores, which are in turn kept alive by the food which the plants makes for them. So indirectly, the tiger owes its existence to photosynthesis.
Yes. Rather, the sentence was, the tiger owes its existence to chlorophyll. Okay. Correctly said. So here we have to give two instances that the green plants, they are making the food with the help of chlorophyll, and that is the food of the herbivore that the tiger is eating. The tiger is eating the herbivore, and that is why it's able to survive, and the herbivore is preparing its food from the green plants. That is the point over here. Okay, clear? This is a very important give reason question. It's a PYQ actually, came in most probably 2019 year, ICSC. So a tiger owes its existence to chlorophyll. that and we are give a reason
So
question.
significance,
So significance পড়লাম, food for all, photosynthesis is ultimately the energy source of energy and food for all living organisms, whether directly or indirectly. We have to utilize this word, use the word directly or indirectly. Animals, humans who eat the plant eating animals, the plant eating animals, yes. And then oxygen to breathe in. We are surviving because we need oxygen from plants. So photosynthesis is the only biological process which releases oxygen into the atmosphere. Oxygen supports all life on earth. No living being can remain alive without oxygen. Okay. So these are the two important, only two significance, definition and equation. That is very important when we are reading this. Okay, have a quick look at this so that we can proceed with the diagram of chloroplast. Chloroplast diagram is very important and we need to draw this once. A quick drawing of the chloroplast diagram will help us to understand this part much quicker, faster. Okay. Sorry. I'll share the screen. Let's have a look at the screen. We'll talk about the process. We already talked about the process of photosynthesis. Now, as said, the next part is talking about So here we will talk about the process of photosynthesis. As said that we first talk about chlorophyll, the vital plant pigment. ঠিক আছে, are we in that page? সবাই কি আছি এই পেজে where we are talking about chlorophyll, the vital plant pigment? Screen I have shared on photosynthesis, types of the two types of reactions that takes place. But before that, the pigment chlorophyll, which is a vital plant pigment, is the green pigment found in the plant. The term green is very important, as said. The term green is important. Why? Because it's the green pigment which is responsible for the activation of the chlorophyll, the formation of glucose, and the further process goes on. ঠিক আছে, chloroplast is structure এ চলে যাবো আমরা. Chloroplast is an organelle. We know chloroplast is an organelle. What is the shape of chloroplast? When we draw the diagram of chloroplast, we have to be very particular about the shape of the diagram. Chloroplast is an organelle. So this organelle, how does it look like? I'll try to share the diagram of chloroplast. See, diagram of chloroplast, a typical diagram, and the labelings. Very, very important is this one. So we'll let's try to see if we can check this diagram. Yes, we can see this diagram of chloroplast where we can see the shape of the chloroplast, which is a double membrane structure. Double membrane structure, chloroplast, oval shape, double membrane. These two are important. And along with that, you can see there are some saucer-shaped structure, plate-shaped structure. Saucer-shaped structure, which is placed one below the other. Okay, a pile of this is granum. A pile of this saucer-shaped structure is a thylakoid. একটা প্লেটকে thylakoid বলছি, and a pile of thylakoid is granum. ঠিক আছে, each plate is a thylakoid. One plate, another plate, third plate, fourth plate, a pile of plate, saucer-like structure. saucer-shaped structure. That is a granum, stalk of thylakoids, as we are saying here, and plural of granum is grana. Grana. So many grana are there, and these grana, they are connected. Can you see the green connections? The connections is they are mentioned as lamellae. We also call it fret. F-R-E-T. Fret. Okay, and then from there we can see that the ground substance, the matrix, which is known as the stroma, it's a fluid substance. The stroma, the basal substance in the chloroplast on which the grana is placed. So inside the chloroplast there are two major parts of the chloroplast: the basal structure, the aqueous fluid, which is stroma, and the pile of thylakoids, which is grana. Okay, and they are connected by fret. Muzabarlam, the detailed diagram, I'm not making you draw it right now, but then a very important diagram for ICSC, board examination and school examination also. Okay, have a quick look at the book's diagram. In the book, there is, you can see there is a envelope which is shown like a jhutir moto lagje mathar upore. Actually, basically, it's oval shaped structure and an envelope is shown like that. Okay. That's the diagram. This remains a homework because it's a very important diagram. We cannot miss out. I'll just read this portion. Chloroplasts are minute oval bodies bounded by double membrane, and their interior contains closely packed flattened sacs. Closely packed flattened sacs. They are thylakoids. One word answer is important. Closely packed flattened sacs. That's thylakoids arranged in piles. Arranged in piles, that is grana, lying in a colorless brown substance, stroma. Colorless brown substance. Again, one mark question in the ICSC. That is stroma. Ordinarily, there may be 40 to 50 chloroplasts in a cell, and the pigment chloroplast is contained in the walls of thylakoids. Again, very important. Where is chloroplast present? In the walls of the pigment chlorophyll. Where is pigment chlorophyll present? In the walls of thylakoid. Thylakoid is present inside the chloroplast. Okay. So, and this chlorophyll is present in the walls of the thylakoids. Thylakoid means, again, those saucer-shaped structure piled upon one above the other. On the inner wall, it's present. Chloroplasts are mainly contained in the mesophyll cells of the leaves. Mesophyll cells of the leaf. In the leaf mesophyll, we have seen there are palisade mesophyll, there are spongy mesophyll. In transpiration chapter, we have seen যে elongated লম্বা লম্বা যে সেলগুলো থাকে সেগুলো প্যালিসেড মেসোফিল, and then নিচে যেগুলো থাকে স্পঞ্জি মেসোফিল, তার মধ্যে কিন্তু ক্লোরোপ্লাস্ট filled in. How many chloroplasts? There are quite many, 40 to 50 chloroplasts in a single cell. Okay. And each chloroplast contains this. And this chloroplast consists of, it's a complex substance, consists of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, magnesium. Very important. What are the components? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and magnesium. Right? Chloroplasts are mainly contained in the mesophyll cells of the leaves, upper and lower epidermis. They are also found in the ground cells of stomata. In the guard cells of stomata, they are also present, and in the outer layers of young green stem. So we get the location from here. Location, where is this chloroplast present? At number, mesophyll cells of the leaf. 2 number, guard cells of stomata. 3 number, outer layers of young green stem. 3 location. Have you marked? These are the 3 locations where they are present. Okay. Now there may be more than 5 lakh chloroplasts per square millimeter. Per square millimeter. How much is square millimeter? Very small. So 5 lakh chloroplasts per square millimeter of the leaf surface. That's their number. So what we read from here, we talked about the pigment chlorophyll. Where is the pigment present? In the walls of thylakoids. We talked about grana, the stroma. We talked about fret. And we also talked about the location of chloroplast and number of chloroplasts present per square millimeter of a leaf. Clear hoche? All these points we have read from here. And then regarding the pigment chlorophyll, there are several types of chlorophyll, and the book says there are 9 types, and out of these, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B are most abundant. More chlorophyll means they are absorbing more photon, more energy, and more synthesis of food by the process of photosynthesis. Got it? That's it. So this is about the chlorophyll part, and then they talk about the chlorophyll absorbs light at both ends of the visible spectrum. There's a small box. Chlorophyll absorbs light at both ends of the visible spectrum. It reflects blue and red. Visible spectrum from blue and red light reflects away the green light. Because it reflects the green light, we can see it green. We say chlorophyll is green in color. So it absorbs actually blue and red, reflects the green light. That's why chlorophyll appears green. Absorbed blue and red light are most effective for photosynthesis. It is reflecting green light, but absorbing what? Absorbing blue and red light. So this blue and red light, they are most effective for photosynthesis. Got it? This is about this much. Now, it says that too much chlorophyll destroys, too much light destroys chlorophyll. Too much of light will destroy chlorophyll, and because chlorophyll is highly sensitive, so if there is too much of light, too much of sunlight, it will destroy the chlorophyll. Now, the formation of chlorophyll depends upon the exposure of the plant to light. If the plant is exposed to light, then chlorophyll synthesis will be carried on. If not, then no. Sometimes we see that into the in the backyard of our we are staying in our homes. I mean, at the backyard you might have some pile of some substances kept, bricks and all those রাখা রয়েছে, আর তার তলায় মানে গ্রাস, লন গ্রাস যেটা গ্রো করে চলে গেছে, তার উপরে bricks and boxes and all, they are kept for a long time. অনেকদিন পরে যখন সেটাকে সরানো হলো, তারপরে we see that the grasses, the same grass which is there in the throughout the lane there, lawn, sorry, and the part which is under those pile of rocks and all, সেগুলো দেখতে পাবো it turns yellowish in color. It turns yellowish. Why yellowish? Because sunlight did not reach there. So because sunlight did not reach there, the color turned yellowish. But the plant is surviving because we're talking about grass. Grass, with the help of the stem, the phloem is carrying the food and distributing it to that part of the plant, but it's not getting sunlight, so it turns yellowish. We call these kind of leaves as etiolated leaves. Etiolated leaves. Okay, and this is because of disintegration of the older leaf and the absence of light results in yellow colored leaves. Okay, this is up to the first part that is talking about this. Okay, followed by this we have. Followed by this, we will carry on with the process of photosynthesis. In between, we have the potassium ion concentration theory that we'll talk about later on. Okay, now focusing on the process of photosynthesis. We already talked about the fact that where it takes place, it occurs in the mesophyll cells between the palisade and the spongy cells. Please write down this one. Photosynthesis, the process. Okay, photosynthesis. The process of photosynthesis actually. So how does it occur? It is actually divided into light dependent phase and light independent phase. The process of photosynthesis is divided into light dependent phase and light independent phase. And we know that carbon dioxide and water are the raw materials, 6CO2 and 12H2O, which in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll helps in the formation of glucose. Okay, glucose and water is released, 6H2O and 6O2. Oxygen is released as a byproduct. Okay? All right. So how this whole process occurs? This light dependent phase and light independent phase. Light dependent phase, we can see here, we also call it photochemical phase. Whereas light independent phase, we are calling it biosynthetic phase. Why is it so? Light dependent phase means it needs light at every step for all the reactions to occur. Whereas light independent phase means it's a biosynthetic phase. That is, glucose is formed and it does not require light. Light is not required. Okay? So when light is required, it is light independent phase. When light is not required, it is light independent phase. All right. So light dependent phase is the photochemical phase. Again, photo means light is required. So photochemical phase. It's also known as Hill reaction. Okay. The steps involved are, first one is activation of chlorophyll. Please note it down. Very important. Activation of chlorophyll. The chlorophyll gets activated how? Because the sunlight helps in the activation of the process. So activation of chlorophyll, followed by followed by the photolysis process. Now, this is a very important definition. What is photolysis? Lysis মানে হলো breakdown and photo মানে light. So, breaking down water molecule in the presence of light is photolysis. Am I clear? Breakdown process. Photolysis means water molecule is broken down in the presence of light into H plus and OH minus ion and with the release of electrons. So this is the photolysis because light is required to break down water into H plus and OH minus ion with of course the release of electrons. That is the process of photolysis. A very important definition. And where does it occur? It occurs in the grana of chloroplast. Grana of chloroplast. Very important this is. This is a part of light reaction. So this occurs in the grana of chloroplast. If you check the book, they are talking about the activation of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll on exposure to light energy becomes activated by absorbing photons. What is photon? Smallest unit of light energy. And then the splitting of water. Splitting of water means the water molecules absorbed energy is used in splitting up the water molecules into two components, hydrogen and oxygen, with the release of electrons. And this is known as photolysis because lysis means breakdown, photon with the help of light, water is broken down. Am I clear? The definition is given in the box. Must learn definition, and it can surely come for a 1 mark definition in the boards. Actually, Shabai Mugusta, I'll ask you right now. Photolysis occurs in the grana of chloroplast, defined as the splitting of water molecules into hydrogen ion and oxygen in the presence of light. Please learn. I'll ask you right now. I give you 1 minute time. Fast. Yes. Who can answer? As you can see here also, 2H2O, 4H plus, 2OH minus, and 4 electrons. Yes. Who can answer this definition? Please raise your hand. Fast, please. I think I have to ask you. Chalo, Manish, bolo. What is it? Bolo, definition of photolysis. মুখস্থ করছি ওকে রেনেসা তুই বল ট্রাই তো কর
Photolysis occurs in the grana of a chloroplast, and it splits the H2O molecules into hydrogen and oxygen ions.
All right. And in the presence of light, that is very important. Okay. It occurs in the presence of light. That is very important. And occurs in the grana of chloroplast. Okay, that's good. Dia, bolo next. What have you learned? Srishani join করেছিস? Good. Dia, bolo.
Photolysis occurs in the grana of a chloroplast, and it is the splitting up of water molecules into hydrogen ions and oxygen in the presence of light.
Okay, that's very good. Our next ke bolbe? Priyankshi, Abhishekta, Pritisha, anyone?
Photolysis occurs in the grana of the chloroplast and is defined as the splitting of H2O molecules into hydrogen ions and oxygen in the presence of light.
Very good. Abhishekta.
Photolysis occurs in the grana of a chloroplast, and it is defined as the splitting of H2O molecules into hydrogen and oxygen ions in the presence of light.
Okay, that's good. Anyone else who wants to say we have learned by now? কোথায় গেল? Arohan have joined. That's good. Manish, বন্ধু কই? বলছে কে Anyway, no one else is coming up, so I'll proceed with the next one. Pore. Yes.
Done.
Very good. Bolo.
Photolysis occurs in the grana of a chloroplast and it's been defined as the splitting of a H2O molecule into hydrogen ions and oxygen ion in the presence of light.
Wonderful. Very good. What about এই বাড়িতে বাবা কেমন আছেন?
একই সেরমই কন্ডিশন, কিছু ইমপ্রুভ হয়নি।
Okay, we hope for the best and we pray that he gets well soon. Now, the thing is that, so we talked about activation of chlorophyll and photolysis. I hope we are clear with this. Now talking about the fact that যে water molecule break করে we got that H plus ion, so we have to utilize these H plus ion, OH minus ion and electron. How are we utilizing it for the process? This H plus ion is actually used in the reduction of NADP. You can check on screen NADP, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. You can see that. So this nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate is actually the energy-rich molecule which gets reduced to NADPH with the hydrogen ion that is formed as a result of this photolysis process. So NADP full form is a must learn and is a must count question in the boards. Please learn this. Please learn this NADP. NADP full form nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Please learn. And I want people to answer this. Who will answer? Arohan bolo. Arohan is there, I can see. Arohan, come up with full form of NADP. Full form of NADP.
Nicotinamide adenosine diphosphate.
আর একটু মিস্টেক হয়েছে, come up with a little broader one. Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate.
আচ্ছা, dinucleotide phosphate, sorry.
Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. It's on our screen. Yes, it would be good if everybody answers once. Yes, Amadrita, one try. Yep.
Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate.
Okay. All right, that's good. Shobai ekbar kore you can write down in the message inbox so that I get assured that you have learned it. Please write down once. Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Why I'm saying you again and again, very important full form. Means this NADP and ADP. These two are the ones that keep on coming. Chalo.
ম্যাম,
হ্যাঁ বলো।
NADPH এর ফুল ফর্ম বুকে দেওয়া আছে নিকোটিনামাইড অ্যাডিনাইন ডাইনিউক্লিওটাইড হাইড্রোজেন ফসফেট। তো হাইড্রোজেনটাকে মেনশন করবো নাকি লাস্টে?
No, see, I told you to learn NADP. NADPH is never going to come. It's a reduced product. এটা আসবে না, আসবে NADP, বুঝতে পেরেছো? আসবে NADP. So we just learn for NADP. Hydrogen phosphate means it's getting reduced and that's why it's hydrogen phosphate they are saying. ঠিক আছে? So yes, better you all write down once. That would be good to see you writing. Okay, সবাই লিখে ফেলো একবার করে. Now that was about hydrogen and next we have this and another one thing, whenever we are writing the full forms, make sure the first alphabet is capital for all the cases. Nicotinamide N capital, adenine A capital, dinucleotide D capital, phosphate P capital. We should come that way. Okay? Done? Okay. I pass on to the next part. So, what again I'm recalling activation of chlorophyll, photolysis of water, reduction of NADP, and then formation of molecular oxygen. We know that oxygen is released as a byproduct. So, this formation of molecular oxygen is also very important when we are talking in terms of this light reaction, light dependent phase. Formation of molecular oxygen. So can you tell me what is the source of this oxygen which is formed as a result of photosynthesis? Is again an important question for the boards. Source of oxygen. What is the source of oxygen for this process? This oxygen comes from, see, the reactant. You have written down the equation in your copy, 6CO2, 12H2O. And then we are getting glucose and then water and then oxygen. So tell me the source of oxygen is what? Oxygen from where we are getting? See, H2O is breaking down, and then from this OH minus, from there we are getting the molecular oxygen. So the source is water itself. Am I clear? The source is water itself. Formation of molecular oxygen, oxygen molecule is formed. And finally, this ATP formation, very important. ATP formation, ADP, along with that one inorganic phosphate adds up and it forms ATP. Adenosine diphosphate along with one inorganic phosphate makes it ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Now this adenosine triphosphate means it's a high energy rich molecule. We know that we call it an energy currency of the cell. We call ATP to be the energy currency of the cell. All the energy required for the cellular activities is provided by this ATP. All right. So this process where a diphosphate becomes a triphosphate with the help of an additional, with the help of an inorganic phosphate, this process is phosphorylation. The process is phosphorylation. Now this phosphorylation process, when it is occurring in the presence of light, we already talked about that this is the light reaction, the steps of light reaction. So when this process is occurring in the presence of light, we are referring this to be photophosphorylation. What are we calling it? Photophosphorylation. Okay? So what is photophosphorylation? We have the definition in the book. Let's check the definition. It says the addition of an inorganic phosphate to ADP helps in the presence of light the formation of ATP, and the process is phosphorylation in the presence of light, photophosphorylation. A definition talk into important, very much important for 1 mark. Got it? So we got the reactants ready for being synthesized. What are the reactions? Activation of chlorophyll, photolysis, formation of NADP, reduction of NADP, then formation of molecular oxygen, formation of ATP. All these together immediately forms the biosynthetic product. What is that? The biosynthetic substance. It's glucose. It's glucose, C6H12O6, the glucose. Okay, glucose is formed. So one molecule of glucose is formed this way. Now, glucose is going on being manufactured. Glucose. As I mentioned over here, considering glucose as a monomer, glucose, long chain of glucose molecule is being formed. So long chain of glucose molecule where glucose is a monomer, that is a polymer is formed. It forms a polymer. So this polymer is formed, which is ultimately starch. And this whole process is polymerization. The whole process is polymerization. Am I clear? The process of formation of a single molecule of starch, conversion of many simpler and smaller molecules into a complex bigger molecule is termed as polymerization. Here we are talking about conversion of several glucose molecule into a starch molecule. That's polymerization. Definition of polymerization, again very important. Got it? Please mark this definition of polymerization. Follow? So this is about the biosynthetic phase, as we mentioned in the table in this on the screen over here. It's biosynthetic phase. We also call it Kelvin cycle. Why Kelvin cycle? After the name of the scientist. And the photochemical phase is also known as Hill reaction. Why? After Robert Hill. Robert Hill proposed this light-dependent phase, steps of light-dependent phase. Okay, so that's why we refer to it as Kelvin cycle, and this is Hill reaction. Okay, so we have talked about the till the light independent phase or dark phase. We will talk about the conditions now. We'll talk about the adaptations in leaves to perform photosynthesis. How the leaves are have adapted themselves to perform photosynthesis. Okay. Very important, very easy to understand this one once again. So adaptations. What adaptive features the plants have taken up to perform photosynthesis? Plants, mainly the leaves. Adaptations in leaves. And question comes from here, that's why. Leaves for performing photosynthesis. The very first point comes up over here as large surface area. Large surface area, when you get these in exam, পরীক্ষা যখন আসবে আমরা কিন্তু subheading অবশ্যই লিখবো, must. Subheading must be there, and with that we will be explaining a bit, but the subheading has to be there, must. Large surface area. This large surface area means why large surface area is required? For maximum absorption of sunlight. Maximum absorption of sunlight. Narrower the leaves, less will be the rate of photosynthesis. And here examples are given of oleander and pine. Oleander and pine leaves are very narrow leaves. So because they are narrow leaves, they perform photosynthesis, but then the rate is very low. If there have been, the broader leaves, then the rate of photosynthesis would have been more. Okay, this is it. And then we talk about the leaf arrangement. Leaves are arranged at right angles to each other. Okay, leaves arranged at right angles to each other to obtain maximum sunlight. I'll just show you over here. See, leaves arranged at right angles to each other. This is a stem, and here is one leaf, this is another leaf. This is right and left. This is the supposed right side, and this is the left side. Okay. And then next leaf will be front and back. This is front and this is back. All right. Again, the next leaf will be right and left. So this is right side and this is left side. And the next leaf will be front and back. All right. So these are this is the arrangement of the leaf. Leaf arrangement at right angles to the light due to obtain maximum sunlight. And then comes the point, the cuticle. Cuticle and upper epidermis, transparent and waterproof to allow light to enter freely. Cuticle is, suppose this is the leaf, and then the upper layer is the cuticular layer. The upper layer is the cuticular layer. Here we have the upper layer is the cuticular layer. Suppose the cuticular layer is so thick. If the cuticular layer is so thick, it will take much time for any substance to get in and any substance to go out, whether it is respiratory gases or carbon dioxide, oxygen going out, water vapor, whatever. That will take more time. So thinner the cuticle, suppose the leaf is thin like this. So here it will be faster. The rate of whether it is entry of water, entry of air, light, sunlight, whatever it is, it will be occurring faster. So this is it. And then number 4 is numerous stomata. We know that the large number of stomata are required for rapid exchange of gases. So numerous stomata is another adaptive features. Numerous stomata. And can you tell me stomata are present where? Well, large number of stomata, they are present on which surface? Numerous stomata are present on which surface of the plant?
Under surface of leaves.
Under surface of the plant, correct. So under surface of the leaf, under surface of the leaf, the maximum stomata are present, and that is why it allows maximum photosynthesis in case of dicot plants, and in case of monocot plants, they are present on both the surfaces, upper as well as lower. more stomata are present on both the surfaces. In case of isobilateral leaf, so in case of dicot leaf, both the in case of dicot leaf, lower surface has got more stomata. In case of monocot leaf, it's the higher upper surface, both surfaces having equal number of stomata. Stomata are present. Now, next point is the thinness of the leaf. Thinness of the leaf reduces the distance between the cells, facilitating rapid transport. So, the thinner the leaf, as I was talking about here, thinner the leaves, rapid transport, and then extensive vein system. Suppose, again, getting back to another leaf. So, suppose this is a leaf where there is reticulate venation. Reticulate venation means the leaves have got enough veins and veinlets present. So these enough veins and veinlets will help in quicker transport of water and minerals. Quicker transport of water and minerals that will help in rapid transport of substances. So extensive vein system helps in rapid transport from the mesophyll cells. All these are the adaptations in leaves to perform photosynthesis. Leaf adaptations to perform more photosynthesis, effective photosynthesis. Okay. So this is these are the points, and then we have a quick reading. Farhan join করলে? Farhan was trying to join. আমি কি add করলাম তোকে? Farhan join করলো না? Okay. So we were talking about the adaptations in leaves for photosynthesis, and this is it. Have a quick check because we'll pass on to the next part, talking about the factors and the experiments if we can. St. Augustine exam starts from 10th or 17th? Exam is starting from 10th of August or 17th of August?
September.
ও আচ্ছা অগস্ট না সেপ্টেম্বর আচ্ছা আচ্ছা বাবা আমি তো ভয় পেয়ে যাচ্ছিলাম ওকে ওকে ঠিক আছে. So this is it. We pass on to the next portion, that is end result of the products of photosynthesis. End results. End results ki? End results মানে কি তৈরি হলো? We are talking about, till now we were talking about the process and then the adaptations, and now we pass on to the end results. এই যে product form হলো সেগুলো দিয়ে কি হলো? End results of photosynthesis. What are they? The first point is glucose is formed. The second product formed is the water. And then number 3 is oxygen. So once they are formed, what happens to them? Once they are formed, what actually happens to them? How they are utilized by the body? So that is important. Now, glucose, the simple sugar, glucose is used in 4 different ways as required by the plants. 4 different ways glucose is formed. Immediately consumed by the plant cells. The glucose is immediately consumed by the plant cells, means the plant cells are forming starch by the process of plant cells forming starch by the process of just now we talked about. Shall I give you a hint? Acha. Check my screen. And I just talked about, we just talked about this. This glucose is formed, and after glucose, this is formed. What is this? what my screen says. What is this? Speak up. You have to. Glucose is formed one molecule and then a long chain of glucose molecule. Yes, somebody said that is starch. And what is the process by which this starch is formed? Yes, please help me to identify. Bolo. Monomer of glucose resulting into the formation of starch, which is a polymer. So the process is polymerization. So when we are talking about polymerization means glucose is formed and large amount of glucose, this glucose is utilized by the plant for making its food. But then not that all the glucose is utilized by the plant, some glucose is left. So the glucose which is left, they are stored in the form of insoluble starch. Now you need to tell me, why are we talking about insoluble starch? What would happen if the starch remains soluble? Yes, please.
ম্যাম যদি বৃষ্টি হয় তাহলে কি মানে স্টার্চটা রিজলভ করে বৃষ্টির সাথে বয়ে যাবে এরকম কিছু হতে পারে?
আচ্ছা, কোথায় স্টোর থাকে? Where is this starch stored in the plant? Which part of the plant? In the leaves of the plant. In the leaves and some storage organs, but mainly in the leaves. So inside the leaves, so বাইরের কোনো external factor is not required here. Internal factors, it is present inside the leaves. So leaves এর মধ্যে থাকলে phloem কি করবে? It will take it with it. Phloem will, when phloem will distribute the food, or when xylem is distributing the water and minerals, it will just, because it is soluble, it will mix up with it and get distributed to different parts of the plant. So that is why this insoluble starch it is stored in the form of insoluble starch. Okay? And then some of them are converted into sucrose also. Some are used in synthesizing fats and proteins. So that's very important. 4 points we talked about. 4 points on how this glucose is stored. And then coming to water. Water produced in the process may be reutilized in the continuance of photosynthesis. Water produced is reutilized. This water which is produced, it is again reutilized for photosynthesis. Okay. And then what happens to the oxygen? Oxygen, we are all taking oxygen. We are dependent on plants for the oxygen that is being produced by the plant. Oxygen diffuses out into the atmosphere through the stomata, and this oxygen is never a waste product. It's always, we say it's a byproduct. It's a byproduct. Why? Because without oxygen, we would not have survived, right? So our existence totally depends upon on plants because of this oxygen carbon dioxide balance being maintained. And we both of us, we and plant, both we help in maintaining this balance. If the number of plants are cut down, oxygen deficiency, if the all the animals are erased from this world, then there will be scarcity of carbon dioxide. So they are all saath chalte hain kind of thing. Okay, we understood this part. And then they are talking about utilization of synthesized food and its translocation. Translocation means the word translocation is associated with phloem. So I'll tell you something which generally I teach in lower classes. But you should be knowing this. That is the term transportation. The term transportation is associated with xylem. Transport of water and minerals. The very first chapter of class 8, you have read this. Transport of water and minerals. Okay. So this transport of water and minerals is taken care of by xylem, whereas translocation is by phloem. 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 Translocation of food. Transportation of water and minerals. Got it? That is the major difference. So these two terms. Next, coming to the translocation. Now we talk about the factors affecting photosynthesis. Factors affecting photosynthesis, we come up to this part, which talks about the factors affecting photosynthesis. So these are the list of factors, and then we will talk about in terms of the factors in terms of the internal factors as well as external factors. All right. So factors affecting photosynthesis. Factors affecting photosynthesis. We divide it into two parts, external and internal factors. External factors and internal factors. Okay. External factors and internal factors. Now, the external factors, as we can check, it's light, it's carbon dioxide concentration, it's temperature, and its water content. Water content. These are the external factors. All right. And passing on to the internal factors, we have chlorophyll. We have chlorophyll. We have the protoplasm and the leaf structure. Okay. Now we will go to each and every one of them and talk about them in details, external and internal separate. So talking about light, first factor is light here. And if we refer to the book's figure 6.3, just check figure 6.3. There we can see that with respect to figure 6.3, that carbon dioxide concentration, here we have kept, this is rate of photosynthesis here, and this is the light intensity. This is light intensity. Light intensity, and this is carbon dioxide concentration. First, rate of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis rate. So what happens with an increase in intensity of light, carbon dioxide concentration, rate of photosynthesis increases, and then it slowly stabilizes. It stabilizes. And again, when we again increase the CO2 concentration a little, rate of photosynthesis increases. Again, it stabilizes. So at particular points, it shows that rate of photosynthesis increases first, but stabilizes again. Again increases, then stabilizes again. So this is what happens when we consider intensity of light and carbon dioxide concentration, because rate of photosynthesis increases first, and then with the increase in light intensity, but then it decreases. Decreases means it slows down. Slows down means it gets stabilized. Photosynthesis increases with intensity of light, and then it gets stabilized at certain points. Say this is S dash. It stabilizes first. Again, with an increase in carbon dioxide concentration, CO2 concentration increase, CO2 concentration increase, it increases, stabilizes as S double dash. And like this. It's not that if we keep on increasing the factors, it will keep on increasing on and on and on. Right. So this is about the first factor, light intensity and CO2 concentration. Regarding temperature, we must know that 35 degrees C, very important. 35 degrees C is the maximum suitable temperature. Maximum suitable temperature for photosynthesis to occur. Okay. But beyond this, if it is more than this, rate of photosynthesis starts decreasing, and finally at about 40 degrees and above, it stops. 40 degrees C and above, photosynthesis stops. And there is a range where the photosynthesis rate doubles itself. Which rate is that? Which rate is that? It's from 20 degrees C to 30 degrees C. About 21 degrees C to 31 degrees C. 22 degree, 32 degree. Okay, 24, 34, 25, 35. Bus. During this phase, the photosynthesis doubles itself, doubles the rate. Doubles the rate of photosynthesis. But beyond that, there is no increase in photosynthesis at all. Rather, the rate of photosynthesis stops. Why? What is the reason? Can anybody tell me? Reason kya hai? What is the reason? Enzymes that are helping in the process, they get destroyed. Enzymes get destroyed beyond this temperature. And that is why they do not undergo any kind of enhancement in the rate of photosynthesis. Got it? Parlam bujhte shobai? Anywhere you feel you have not understood, please let me know. I'll explain it again and again. We pass on to the next point, and that is about water content. Water content, which is an external factor. The book says, see, only 1% of the water which is absorbed by the roots, this is utilized for photosynthesis, 1%. Because we know there is transpiration going on occurring, which is actually taking up all the water. So the scarcity of water due to reduced absorption from the soil, due to excessive loss through transpiration, reduces rate of photosynthesis, and by decreasing the diffusive capacity of CO2. Because the stomata gets closed, if the guard cell closes, if the guard cell is not turgid anymore, guard cells become flaccid, then the stoma will close, this stoma will close, and then no photosynthesis. So that is why the more the plant cells remain turgid, more will be the rate of photosynthesis. Okay, this is it. These are the external factors. Now we come to the internal factors. Internal factors, what are the internal factors? Talking about the internal factors where we begin with chlorophyll. Internal factors, we begin with chlorophyll. Internal factors are like, as we have just seen, it is chlorophyll, protoplasm, and structure of the leaf. So, if enough chlorophyll is not there in the leaf, it will not result in photosynthesis because chlorophyll needs to absorb the sunlight. Okay, so this is it. Nutritional deficiencies of minerals cause loss of chlorophyll, and hence the drop in trapping solar energy. Sorry, they drop in trapping solar energy. Next is protoplasm. Protoplasm means less amount of water inside the cell will be a dehydrated protoplasm. Dehydrated protoplasm will not result in proper synthesis of food. And then comes the structure of the leaf, protoplasm. And then the leaf structure. Leaf structure is also a very important factor because the thickness of the cuticle, the distribution of stomata, the size of the leaf, they influence the amount of light entering and the amount of carbon dioxide entering into the leaf. More amount of carbon dioxide, more photosynthesis. More thick cuticle, less photosynthesis, because thicker cuticle we have read there as an adaptation, and more number of stomata, more photosynthesis. So all these factors responds to they regulate the rate of photosynthesis actually. Understood? These are all the points that we have talked about. I want you to go through all of them.